Hey everyone, and welcome to another Sasquatch Theory interview. In this video, I traveled to Texas County in Missouri to interview Larry. This area is in the Mark Twain National Forest off of the Big Piney River. Larry claims he was turkey hunting in the Mark Twain National Forest one morning, and he encountered a hair-covered bipedal creature that seemed to be very territorial. This is an area that the BFRO and myself have investigated Bigfoot reports in the past. It makes sense why the Sasquatch and other cryptids would be in an area like this. There are many cave systems, fresh water, and a ton of Mark Twain National Forest in the area. A person could spend their whole life exploring this region of Missouri. If you enjoy watching Sasquatch Theory, please like and subscribe to the channel. And if you have a Bigfoot encounter that you would like to report, please contact me at sasquatchtheory@outlook.com.
All right, my name's Larry. I live in Missouri. I was out here turkey hunting the last Tuesday of turkey season here in Mark Twain National Forest. Come down to a little campsite that I knew about, followed a path back off in the woods, and I got maybe 200-300 yards from the truck. And that's when I saw Bigfoot. It actually stepped across the road. I thought I would hear it, but I never heard it coming until I saw it. And I just kind of froze in my tracks, because I was scared. I didn't know what was going on. And he stood behind a tree and he shook another tree right next to it off to the right. And when my mind finally got with me and I started to slowly back out, you could hear it following, coming through the woods. I never could see it, but you could hear it, kind of mocking me as I come through the woods, making sure I got back to the truck. I believe it was trying to keep me from going in, to keep me from something. What? I don't know. I guess that would be the scary part.
So whenever you got in there, you did a few turkey calls.
Yes.
You cut a few calls, and that's when you saw the creature move across the path.
Yes.
What color was it?
I'd say it was like I'm going to say a dark brown, between, because it was probably 150 yards away. I'm assuming dark brown color, but I'm not, 100% sure. When it stood behind the tree and it was looking at me, it had like a ape type, shape to their face, And
How tall was it?
I almost say at least 7.5, 8 foot tall.
Okay. Did it have a round head?
Yes.
Okay.
And when I saw it, and just before it shook the tree, it let out like a deep growl, scream type, noise. And then it started shaking the tree, vigorously, and that's when I just slowly started trying to back out. And then I could hear it, following me, as I was backing out of the woods.
Okay.
Was it, making the noise at me to let me know it was there, or trying to keep, whatever else was back there, away from me, that's what I think, but who knows for sure.
What time of day was this, around 9?
This was about 9 o'clock in the morning.
Okay. And have you been in the area previously, or did you just come in here fresh?
Come in here fresh.
Okay. And did you see very many hunters in the area?
I've drove down this road quite a bit, during turkey season. There was a lot of hunters in here. But when I come in here, there wasn't nobody here, and as I was going back out, there's a lot of, campsites. There was nobody there either. So, I'd say they've probably been gone 2-3 days maybe.
Yeah. You mentioned it was real quiet.
Yes, it got real quiet. You could hear a pin drop for several hundred yards away, just dead still, quiet, no birds, nothing making noise.
And there are other people in this area that have had encounters too.
Yes.
Is that correct? Okay. Yeah, and I've been researching the area quite a bit, and I've gotten in contact with quite a few people, and apparently a lot of people are seeing them around here.
Yeah, I've got another friend that lives probably 3-4 miles from here that, that said he saw the floating orbs and a UFO out in this area.
What do you say about the orbs? What do they look like?
He said they were just a, round orb, probably, he described it maybe that big around, just kind of just floating right there in the air, and he tried to get a little closer to it and it just take off and it's just gone just like that, Couldn't see it no more.
Yeah. What about the UFO?
He said when he saw it at his house, He said it just like hovered in the air for a long time. Then all of a sudden it just took off and it was gone. It's almost like it just jumped through a portal. I mean, it was gone that quick.
Yeah. Do you think it's all connected with the Bigfoot subject? I don't want to put you on the spot
now.
like that. Yeah.
You know, beforehand, before I saw Bigfoot, no, I don't. But I do now. That that would explain. That would explain to me how he got up on the path so quiet without me knowing him. And until he stepped, and I started backing out.
Yeah, and people can say that's crazy, but saying, "Oh, that's BS," that's like saying you know for sure. We don't know the answers. No one's right or wrong. So
no, and just before I saw him, I didn't pay no mind to it. I just had this eerie feeling, and I thought, well, it's just me coming in the woods, by myself. I ain't been in here in a long time. And then, that's when I saw it.
Yeah. Do you think there were more Bigfoot in the area, or do you think it was just the individual?
I think it was just the individual. It could be more, but that was all I saw, and that was the only noise that I heard.
Yeah.
I think that they travel in packs, but I honestly just don't know.
Yeah, I've had the same type of encounter by Merrimack Springs in Crawford County, Phillips County. I mean, it's right there on the border. But I basically pulled up in my car to a conservation area close to Merrimack Springs. I got out of my car, had the door open. I think I slammed the door shut, and then I walked to the edge of the cliff. You can see the Merrimack River and the conservation area, nothing but trees. And I was just looking off that cliff. Whenever I turned back around, I saw this black creature on all fours scurry up to an oak tree, and then it stood up and slowly hid behind the tree. So by the time I got a good look at it, I was thinking it was hogs or turkeys. And by the time I got a good look at it, all I saw was a big black arm. I mean, jet black, and it slowly hid behind the tree. And I thought to myself, man, that's an intelligent black bear to know to slowly hide behind the tree. And I just stared at the tree and nothing. I never saw it again. And I've had another similar encounter where I live at, and I saw the same thing again, except this one was a smaller one, a little juvenile. It scurried on all fours, got up, and slowly hid behind the tree. And then I thought, man, this is the same thing I saw at Merrimack Springs. And then I thought, well, whatever it is, it's gone because it hid behind the tree. Yeah. I mean, this is like here to there. I mean, probably 30, 40 feet, 30, 40 yards. And when I thought it was gone, it stepped out from behind the tree. And he was looking like this. And he kind of panned around. He saw me, his eyes got really big. It looked like he just saw the devil or a demon, That's what he thought of, like when he saw me. But then he kind of took like a big breath of air, like puffed out his chest, and then shot down behind the tree, like boom, kind of like when you spook a fish and it's gone. Yeah, that's what he did. And when he went behind that tree, I never saw him again. And I was looking left and right of the tree, and it wasn't like a whitetail where you can hear him running, like it was dead silent after that. And with your encounter, didn't you mention when this thing walked, you couldn't hear anything?
Yeah, I couldn't hear nothing when until I saw it, and then when I was frozen in my tracks with what seemed like 5 minutes. It probably wasn't. And I finally got myself together and started slowly backing out, and then that's when I could hear it, falling on the right side of the trail, just in the woods, following me back towards the truck.
Yeah. And what kind of feeling did you get?
I had an eerie feeling, like if I went in any further, that I probably wouldn't come back out. And I think it was there just to, I guess, protect me, I guess you would say.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier.
It made me come back to the car.
Yeah, like there was something bad in there, or possibly it was trying to protect you from like the big male. I mean, we don't know, we're just speculating, but you got that feeling.
Yes.
Okay.
That's basically the same feeling I had when we was back in the woods today, way back in there.
What do you think would have happened if you would have continued down the trail and turkey hunted that day?
There ain't no telling what would have happened. Just my gut was telling me if I went any further, I probably wouldn't be coming back out of the woods.
Yeah.
That's why I say I believe it was there to protect me.
Yeah. And what do you think these creatures are? What's your theory?
I know what I saw. It was Bigfoot for sure. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. What else is out in the woods? God only knows.
The greatest trick Satan ever played on mankind was convincing everybody that he don't exist. So I think there's a lot of things out there that we think we know, that we really don't.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And just one more question. What else have you seen around here? I mean, anywhere around here in Missouri?
Up until that Tuesday when I saw that one, I saw other stuff. I've been over at Duke and seen like little teepees made out of wood, probably 6.5, 7 foot tall. Probably 6 foot wider. Around.
Mm-hmm.
I'm thinking, well, maybe just a hunter, made a shelter to get out of the weather. But talking to you and then Bob and everybody else, and telling me what they know, I honestly think it could have been Bigfoot that made that. Because it was back in the woods next to a pond.
Mm-hmm. After this encounter, you realize that you've had other experiences that you couldn't ever put a finger on. Mm-hmm. You mentioned seeing the red eyes.
Yes, we was out here hog hunting many years ago with dogs and running through the woods at night, and we seen some eyes. They're probably apart about this far, maybe. Probably about 6.5, 7 foot tall, coming through the woods at us, and kind of basically like following us through the woods, like they was tracking us.
Mm-hmm.
Then we go a ways and they just vanish. No more. You don't see them no more.
Were they like going up and down, or were they just moving through the woods?
Just kind of moving through the woods. Kind of like you look eye level. They were just moving through the woods. They wasn't going up and down.
About how high off the ground were they?
I'd say probably 6.5, 7 foot high off the ground.
Mm-hmm.
What it was, I don't know.
Yeah.
There's been other stories of people seeing floating orbs, out here in the woods.
Mm-hmm.
Is it tied together? It possibly could be.
Yeah. I think it was strange that whenever we went down the trail, all the cicadas just stopped.
Mm-hmm.
I thought it was because of us, but whenever we got back, I mean, even right now, they're going off.
Yes.
But something about
when we was down in there a ways, they wasn't making a lot of noise where we was at, but let's just say, 20 yards back behind us and around, you could start hearing them again, but right where we was at, it was quiet.
Yeah. Usually Bigfoot will keep a distance of about 80 to 100 yards around you, and they'll move with you. You just can't see them. You'll hear something kind of moving, or you'll hear like branches breaking. Sometimes you won't even hear them at all, but they usually keep that distance. No matter how close you get, they keep that perimeter.
Well, that would make sense. We coming back out where we said, we heard something up ahead of us sound like a squirrel jumping out of the tree hitting the ground, but it was heavier than a squirrel, almost like a knock.
Yeah. I noticed all those trees were pointing towards that bottom.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I've never noticed that before. I just always thought maybe, it's just hunters doing that. But, it makes sense now.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Well, hopefully you don't encounter them again. And
I hope not.
I know that
if I do, there's a reason, and, I just need to figure out what the reason is.
Yeah. I mean, it could be that they have some type of knowing and they're trying to warn you of something. I mean, you mentioned it earlier. They're trying to possibly push you out of the area. Yeah. I don't know, I keep hearing noises around us. I just can't tell what they are. Yeah. And Bob back here, he's had several experiences in the area. I've already interviewed him. He's had encounters right down the road and all around the area. He's seen
that's what he told me.
Could be a hellhound or a dog man, and I've seen similar too. I've seen some giant dog that looked like a hyena, a wolf mixed with like a lion's body, jump across the road.
And that call that you made in the woods, I've heard that before out here at night. Hog hunting in the middle of the night, you'd hear the noise, but it'd go like 3 or 4 times back to back.
Yeah.
Then just stop.
Yeah. I know Clifford's asleep right now, but has he had anything happen?
He said he saw the red eyes too at night when we was out here hog hunting.
Really? Okay. Well, that's creepy. What do you think the red eyes are? Do you think it's Bigfoot or some type of other cryptid creature?
I think it's another type of creature. I honestly don't think it's Bigfoot.
Yeah.
I could be wrong, but that's, I don't think I am.
Yeah. The question is, are these things natural on this planet? Are they coming from UFOs, aliens, or are they subterranean coming out of the ground? I know anywhere we go in Missouri, there's big caverns underneath us. So, I mean, it's hard to say if it's just something where they come in and out of the ground, whether it's through natural means or like portals, energy. It's hard to say. Okay. You got anything else you'd like to add?
No, that's all I can think of right now.
All right, Larry. Well, I really appreciate you
it.
sharing that. And if there's anyone else in the area, anybody who's had an encounter out here, please speak up. It'll really help us out. And we're just trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together to obtain a bigger picture of what's
A
truly
lot
going
of
on
people,
out
I'm sure there's a lot more that, that's hasn't had encounters,
here.
but, they're probably more worried about what other people are going to think, and it's,
Yeah,
who cares what other people think? If you had an encounter, speak up.
yeah, absolutely. Me and the police officer, the one that's had an encounter out here, we've discussed that they're possibly coming from Fort Leonard Wood because there's no hunting in there. I know they shoot a lot in there, but there's a lot of woods, and that might be the safe zone because they always talk about there being big giant bucks there that nobody can hunt.
Yeah.
And I don't know, they got so much land around here. They could be just right there in the woods right now, and we wouldn't even know it.
Yeah, they could be close and we not know it.
Yeah. All right, well, like I said, I appreciate it, and when you do come back out to the woods, be careful. I think you're safe to hunt.
Yeah.
But I mean,
I won't be out here at night, but I'll come out during the day.
yeah, absolutely. It'll change nighttime for you, for sure.
Yes, it will. But it looked like the heel print, the heel of it was probably about this wide. It kind of, come around and kind of come up, about where the toes would be.
Yeah.
But, all it was, it looked like if it was even, a Bigfoot, maybe the heel impression,
Right. Yeah.
That's all you can make out if that's what it was.
After this rain, I've been seeing a lot of that at my place. Exactly what you're talking about, crossing the roads. Yeah, maybe this was a hunter.
I'd say so.
Yeah, because it was during turkey season.
We probably found 3 or 4 carcasses scattered all down through the woods here.
Okay.
Wow.
Those cicadas, they're something else.
They're
In
loud.
the morning, they were really howling.
And then over on this side of the woods somewhere, me and Bob was looking, we found a oak tree, probably about, yay big around. About, what do you say, about 10 foot, Bob?
Yeah, 8, 10 foot.
Up in the air, just bent over, and where it bent over, it just, like broke off and just kind of shoved in the ground.
Okay. Man, I got a weird feeling being in here. You're right. As soon as we hit that road.
Tell me, I know I've got...
got numb. I had to really be slow with it. I mean, he got numb.
Yeah.
He was just scared. He's white. He turned white on me.
I get that way at nighttime where I had my encounters. Just kind of spooks me. Still to this day.
It was about...
So what were you doing? You were walking out here?
I was just walking down here to come in to go turkey hunting.
Okay.
And I stopped right about here to make a turkey call. And down here, probably about 100 yards or so, I seen it come across the path. And it just stood down there and looked at me. And I was just in total shock. I couldn't move. I was scared. I didn't know what it was at the time. And it let out this blood-curdling growl-type scream. Then it grabbed a tree, probably about that big around, and just shook it like it would have, if I grabbed this and just shook it real easy,
Okay, yeah.
And I started, slowly backing out. And you could hear it over on this side of the woods coming up, but it never would show itself to me. And it followed me all the way back to the truck. But when I saw it, it was just dead silent in here. You could hear a pin drop 200 yards away. I mean, it just got that quiet.
What time of day was it?
It was about 9 o'clock in the morning.
9 o'clock in the morning, okay. So it was out during the daytime, huh? Okay. And do you remember what kind of turkey call you did?
Just hen call, cackle, that's about it.
Yeah. And this thing, what do you think it was doing? What did you?
I honestly think it was just letting me know that it was there.
Yeah.
Is what I think.
Do you think by any chance it thought you were a turkey at first?
It could have, doing this because I stopped up here a little ways and done a turkey call as I was coming in. I'd call and wait and listen. I don't hear nothing. I'd walk a little ways further and do another one. Try to get them to gobble. And he could have thought I was a turkey.
Yeah.
So I never thought of that. That's possible.
Yeah. Well, if something does happen, if we see another one, I don't know what we're gonna do.
I'm tripping the first one and I'm getting out of here.
Yeah. That's fine. I'll let you guys go first.
I'll take you down here and show you about.
You got these trees across the trail. Who knows? It's my theory they like to block off the trails. Just slow down four-wheelers, people, any way they can.
You notice that one little patch when we come up the hill, right past that little last highline clearing. Right before you get to it on the right, all them little arches that's in that little patch of wood.
Yeah, I noticed that.
There's like a million of them. They're just little saplings. And it was just all over in that little patch.
Yeah.
Me and Larry stopped in there the other day and we were looking at them. And I thought that was pretty unique. With just a million little saplings being over in Arkansas.
Yeah.
But just in that one little.
See, when I saw him, he come across
He was right here.
right about in here. You know, and I only seen him take one step, and he was already over here behind the tree. I mean, I'm sure he took more.
Mm-hmm.
But he stood behind this tree right here, looking up at me, and he grabbed this tree right here and shook it just like that little one up there I did, like it was nothing.
Okay. Now, is that a persimmon tree?
It's either persimmon or hickory. I think it is persimmon.
I think so.
Yeah.
The bark looks like persimmon.
So he was shaking this tree right here.
Yes, sir.
And that's not a little sapling either. It's not huge, but for a person to shake that.
Yeah. So you didn't make any movement compared to what he did when he was shaking it.
So it was shaking back and forth, huh? Okay, did it start off on all fours right here?
No, when I seen it, it was just standing upright walking. It was about 7.5, 8 foot tall. You know, and all I caught was a side view, and it looked like he was about this wide, you know, from a side view. You know, and that was all I saw. And I thought, well, what was that? And I got to looking. When he was behind this tree looking at me, I could see just up through there, looked like it had like a ape type face to it.
Okay.
You know, and that's what made me think, well, I just saw Bigfoot, you know, and I always believed they wasn't real.
Yeah. And what color was the creature?
It was a dark color.
Yeah.
Being that distance with the leaves on the, on the trees, it was hard for me to
Brown,
tell.
dark brown, or possibly like jet black, something like that. Yeah.
I would say probably more dark brown.
Okay. Yeah. This is a creepy area. Could you hear any sound coming from the creature? Was it breathing?
I couldn't hear that. I was
was
probably
pretty
more
silent.
scared than anything, and wasn't paying attention,
Yeah. How far down is the river from here?
Well, the river's actually this way. I was actually headed back down this path quite a ways and kind of veer off to the left. There's a big old bottom back down in here. Off to the left of the path is where I was headed.
Okay. Yeah. Pretty spooky stuff. Yeah.
But me and Bob, we come out and look, was going through, and we find little trees like this, just snapped over and broke off, and several of them had the tops, dug down into the ground.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Just all back in here. We made a circle through here, made a circle back through here. I didn't want to keep him out here too long with it because he was already really nervous. I didn't want to terrify him.
Yeah. Did you hear any turkeys? You said it was silent.
Yeah, I didn't hear nothing that day.
Okay.
Nothing. I didn't even hear it come walking through the woods like you would think you'd hear it. Something that big come through, you walking through the woods, you could hear it. I didn't hear nothing.
Yeah.
I didn't even hear him when he took a step across the road.
So he was dead silent, huh? Even walking on these oak leaves.
Dead silent.
Yeah. Yeah. If we walk on this, it's crunchy.
And I think that's probably what scared me the most because it was so big, and I didn't hear it coming to me.
And whenever you left, did you turn back around?
No, I backed out slowly.
You backed out
so I can try to keep an eye on it.
And what did he do?
And you could hear it coming through the patch of wood, on this side of the trail over here, just kind of following me back to the truck. And I got to the truck, I'd say, just going by sound, it was probably 75 yards from me when I got to the truck.
Yeah.
I think it was more curious, who I was and what I was doing here.
Right.
Because I believe this is its home.
Oh, yeah, most definitely. I think they're here year-round.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they migrate, or I don't think they have to. Even in the dead of winter, when there's no leaves on the trees, I think they got plenty of cover. They can just keep that distance.
I believe you're right.
They can see you from a long ways off.
There's a good-sized campground just right down the road here on Paddy Street. And then on the other side of it, there's been numerous people that seen things over. One of the first big wild hogs that got killed around here was killed down here on the other side of it.
Over at Buckner's Bottom.
Yeah. And we passed your encounter site on the way out here. And then Bill's as well.
Yeah.
I'd say we probably ain't 5-6 miles maybe from where you was at that campsite.
Yeah, Jack Carr. Yeah. If you cut straight across the woods, probably not more than 7 miles across the woods.
Yeah. And I passed Justin's area on the way down here, the police officer that had an encounter while he was fishing. Yeah, so the whole area is pretty hot.
That's what I was telling Larry. It just seems like here lately, there's been a lot of people coming forward with their stories. Just had all these encounters here recent.
Yeah. I mean, I've even gotten reports on the channel. There is a family, they were driving in a van on I-44 between St. James and Rolla, and supposedly there was a Bigfoot running next to their vehicle. I think they're on the service road probably, but they said it ran next to the vehicle a pretty good ways.
Wow.
And I mean, it's hard to believe, but I've heard the same encounter story from a family in Yellowstone. There's Bigfoot running next to their van.
Anything's possible
Yeah.
anymore, you know, after what that encounter that I had, you know. I won't deny it now, you know.
Yeah, people say if they're so smart, why would they just be caught out in the open? But I mean, I think they hate people. They want to stay away from them, but at the same time, they hate people and they want to terrorize them and scare them. I mean, I've heard reports where they jump on people's roofs, where they go through their trash cans, where they kill their dogs.
Well, when I was coming in, I had an eerie feeling, but I was coming in to turkey hunt anyhow. You know, after making that counter and it followed me back to the truck, I believe it was trying to keep me from going in further because something might have happened. Is what I believe.
He was trying to push you out. He's like, if you run into the big one, it's going to be bad news for you. I've gotten that feeling too from the females and juveniles. I can't say for sure if it's females and juveniles, but they're awfully nice. And I hear the males aren't very nice.
Yeah, that's what I was telling him on the way out here. You know, it could have been a juvenile or female warning him off before he did bump into something he didn't want to see.
Yeah, I think we'll be all right since I got this camera in my hand.
Yeah.
I mean, I've heard stories when people pull out the camera, the thing takes off, or once they see the person's cell phone, they quickly jet back into the woods. So they know something's up with our electronic devices, our firearms.
Like that guy you interviewed out of Minnesota there was talking about, they know if you're there trying to collect evidence on them or not. You know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And I've got a buddy of mine, you know, straight through the woods, probably 4 or 5 miles that lives over that way, said he's seen, you know, UFOs and floating orbs out in this area. You know,
I believe
it could be another dimension and somehow using portals or something. Who knows?
I think so. Absolutely. In my area where I had encounters, I see those lights all the time. I've even seen the big giant black triangle with the bright lights. It floated right over the house really slow. I mean, it was slow. It made me feel like I was being pushed back, like the world was moving backwards. That's how big it was.
Wow.
Yeah, it was kind of weird about, what, 3, 4 years, 5 years ago, we'll say maybe. You seen the triangle lights quite a bit, you know. And then now, all of a sudden, I don't see them anymore. You know, it's just weird.
You know, and we used to hog hunt this area in the woods at night all the time. You know, had what it was, I don't know, but something taller than me, you know, with red eyes come at us, you know, following us through the woods. You know, what it was, I couldn't tell you.
Where'd you see the red eyes at?
Out here in these woods.
Same woods?
That black creature I seen down there on the bridge at night. That's what I was telling Larry. Personally, myself, I don't believe in werewolves, but that's the closest thing that I would describe as a werewolf. You know, the way it looked, you know, the way it acted.
Yeah. And that buddy I brought with me, Clifford, you know, he saw them too, the red eyes at night.
Really? They're high off the ground?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd say at least 7 foot.
About how far apart were the eyes? Were they round? Were they like diamond shaped or?
No, they were more
like almond shaped.
Almond, yeah, and they was probably, yay far apart. Not too far.
6, 8 inches.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's hard to say if that's Bigfoot or, you know, what people talk about with Dogman, the hellhounds, werewolf.
Well, a lot of people they say that they've seen this black creature that I've seen, and they say it's an old black wolf. Is what they say it is. You know, a lot of the old timers here, but it's not an old black wolf. A black wolf's not going to get up on his 2 hind legs and jump over the side of a bridge.
Not when there's a 25-foot drop.
Right.
So when you backed out, what'd you say this thing was doing exactly? Just kind of pacing?
I think it was just kind of pacing me, following me out to make sure I got out. You know, if it wanted to, you know, catch me and hurt me, it could have real easy.
Yeah. Could you see it moving through the woods though?
I never saw it. After I saw it here, I never saw it move through the woods. I could hear it, you know, follow me out, but I never saw it after that.
Okay. Yeah, so he was purposely making a little bit of noise, letting you know?
I think so.
Could you hear like any little, like sticks breaking as he was moving, or?
Yeah, about like us, you know, kind of walking through the woods, you know, as you try to walk slow, you know, if you break a twig or something, you know, you could hear that. But when I first, you know, saw it, it come from this direction, and I never heard it at all.
Yeah. That's creepy. Makes me wonder who else encountered this thing during that same time frame, turkey hunting in here or just hanging out in here.
Yeah, because there was a turkey camp here for a while, you know, during turkey season. You know, they could have saw something. Who knows?
Yeah, I think so.
You know, and it could have been coming up trying to feed on what carcass was left, left of the carcass. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, whatever they were trying to keep you from seeing or running into, I bet it's in here right now.
It's probably down off in that bottom somewhere, I'd say.
Yeah. Well, this is going to have to be looked through thoroughly and researched, but I don't know how much one man or a few group of people can cover, you know, in here.
Yeah, it's a lot of big areas.
Gosh, this is a huge area. The whole way down here.
That's like that old pine tree, It makes you wonder now what could actually bend it over and wrap it around and wrap it back up like it's going right now.
Yeah, at one point maybe it was arched. And that tree that's just snapped right there.
Been there a long time that way.
Yeah, absolutely. Sure is a lot of trees falling over across the road. I mean, there's a lot of trees out here, but I'm just saying, you never know.
And I watched the one video you got, talking about they liked, I guess, the pine thicket, and there's a lot of them back in here, as you can see.
Yeah.
And see, when me and Bob was out here, when we would find sign, it'd always been on like a little trail, just like this right here, nothing wider than that.
Yeah.
Every time we found sign.
But you see how when I'd leave it that impression like that, that's about what we'd find, but they'd be bigger and wider.
Yeah.
Now this, as far as I've made it in here, since I had the encounter. So what all's down in here, whatever you find, I couldn't tell you.
Yeah. Sure, there's a lot of stuff in here.
See, like there's another mound that's off in the woods. Why would that be there? Make like an X or something like that.
Yeah.
I saw that before out at Duke, but I just always assumed that was the weather, that done it.
Yeah. I was on a gravel road off of Freakless Edgar Springs one year, and there was all kinds of structures.
Okay.
I mean, scattered all around just right off the side of some mobile homes and the Mark Twain. But
and years ago, me and Clifford, we was out hog hunting down at Duke and come across this old, just like an old teepee made out of old, trees and stuff that were fell. The base of it was probably 5-6 foot diameter. It was probably 8-9 foot tall. I just assumed somebody made it like a little shelter just to get out of the weather.
yeah,
I don't know if that would have something to do with Sasquatch or I don't know.
could possibly. I don't know where the top of this tree is. It's just missing.
I didn't see that one right there in front of my face.
Yeah. Kind of looked around, but there's...
Yeah, but what man is going to reach up that high and break that off?
Yeah.
I mean, sure, Mother Nature could probably do it with, straight line winds. Yeah, I guess we can just kind of spread out and kind of walk down through here because I was actually coming down toward this bottom, but like I said, when I saw it, I never come any further. I backed out and I left,
Beetles that attacks the pine trees.
About yay wide,
Only
and it's probably about that long.
Just hundreds of them. They were just coming out of the ground all in a little pile.
And the closer you get, they'd fly up, kind of like eye level.
Yeah, if those cicadas all shut off, there's probably something around.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, we'll just go down in here and kind of spread out and just look around.
Okay.
But then when we leave out, we'll go back up here, come on this side where me and Bob saw all the ones that were bent over and broke off.
Yeah, that sounds good to me.
I'd like to find that one on the other side of the road. It was like I was saying, it was like 10 foot up. It's been over and broke. That way you could see it.
Yeah. Yeah, for it being the weekend, there should be more people out here, but...
Most of it's probably down at the campground.
Okay. So it's not the Piney, it's its own creek?
No, it's regular Paddy Creek.
Okay.
Yeah. And it does run into the Piney.
Okay. Spring fed, I'm assuming? Yeah.
Yeah, Paddy Creek spring fed. It's just a hop and skip down the road here.
All right, I get that feeling we're being watched in here.
Larry's had that feeling since we pulled in the road.
Yes, I have. Try to be quiet. I wonder if they're doing the same thing.
Yeah, like they're able to keep quiet and they know how to walk through the woods. Yeah, it's probably similar to a person. rolling their foot.
What do you need? I don't know. That sun is kind of blinding me. I can't see the top, see if it's dead or not.
It's dead.
Is it? Okay.
Could be those beetles you guys are talking about.
So you got one tree down here, it's broke off, and then you got another one, you know, kind of bent over right over there. Just like that one there. Look, kind of looks like the top's going in the ground.
Yeah, it does.
I didn't hear you.
And I seen this one, but I don't know if that tree the other might have done that.
Yeah.
That's possible. I didn't see that one.
Come off that land up there.
I think sometimes they'll tuck the sapling underneath the tree, but I mean, it's also something natural that can happen out in the woods.
Seeing it almost looked like, you know, the bark snapped here at one time much more than, you know, it snapped in two. And it looks like just the top right here, just underneath the log.
Yeah.
And I wouldn't have thought that would have held it down, but it, you know, it's possible with Mother Nature.
Yeah, it is.
It's just hard to determine, you know, if Mother Nature done it with the wind, or, you know, Bigfoot actually come in and done it, you know.
Yeah. Even whenever I find a bunch of geometrical patterns and structures in the woods, people still say it's wind, so it's hard to convince the...
I just always thought it was winds
non-believers.
until I saw that, and then Bob come out here and show me, you know, some of what to look for. And now it's got me, you know, every time I see something like this, you know, could it have been Bigfoot? Who knows?
Yeah. Whenever you told your encounter on Facebook, there was all kinds of people opening up about this area.
A lot of them from St. Louis that were wanting to come down, you know, wanted to know exactly where at and all that, you know, just to come down here. And I don't want just anybody in here. I believe they got a right to live just like we do.
Yeah.
You know, because I honestly believe, you know, it was just trying to warn me to get out of here because there was something else down here that I didn't want to see.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah, I think they were trying to help you out, or...
that day I deleted that post, I bet I had 20, if not 25 different people get a hold of me wanting to know where it was at.
Really?
And I kept telling them, you know, I'm going to give you the first shot, you know. But I do know it talks about, you know, giants and stuff like that, and maybe Bigfoot, in my theory, you know, is linked to that somehow, you know.
Yeah, I think so too.
You know, and they may be here protecting us, trying to warn us from something. I don't know.
It could be. I definitely think it's something spiritual, but I mean, that just depends on your beliefs. This rock's kind of got some crystal on it. If you pick it up, you know, there's fresh leaves underneath it. How does a rock move on its own?
Yeah, who knows? Something's moved it. See, it looks like something come feeding right through here or walked right through there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what got me up there, you know. All these leaves have been disturbed.
And it's possible that turkeys or armadillos can flip them over. But I've found rocks that are like...
Back there, that's 10 foot, so armadillo's den.
You know, just the other side of this tree,
Oh, yeah.
there's a small tree that looks like the top broke out, and this limb here going here where it's you know, still living.
Yeah.
You see that tree right there, that little one right here behind this pine tree?
Yeah, I saw that.
It's just weird, you know, if that was dead, then why is it still growing over here?
Yeah.
Well, that feeling I've got's just gotten worse right in here.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know, I'm not really used to a spell, you know, and this is about the most spooked I've seen.
I tell you, right now, I'm more scared right now than what I was when I saw him up there. Just something come over me. I can't explain it.
I think Larry's gonna make a good person that's gonna be able to sense of what's going on other than a lot of other people do.
You bring your dog out here. If you got a good pet that's good at detecting people coming down the driveway or whatever, they'll pick them up right away. They'll let you know.
Yeah, I know my dog's good.
That's better than any ghost hunting device or whatever piece of technology. Dogs are the best.
I'm curious on the other hand too. I want to know what's going on. You know, there's answers to, you know, questions that need to be answered, and it may take hundreds of years before they're answered. Who knows?
Yeah, we may never find out. We'll be long
May
gone
not,
from this
you're right.
planet, and questions will never be answered. When you're in a big woods like this, it's hard to find tree structures.
Is it?
A lot of the ones I find are in state parks and just random spots off the roads.
See, like that one, it could have been Mother Nature blowed that big pine over, snapped it like it did, and
Yeah.
laid the other one there and made an X.
Yeah, I think so.
Who knows?
Well, it's got Bob's attention.
You look at this end of the tree, and it's a fairly healthy pine tree according to the pine needles on it.
It ain't been that long since they got blown over or broke over or something. But the top of it's still green.
Yeah.
I'd say big wind probably took it out.
Yeah, probably.
It's all the big trees.
When they warn people to get out, that's what they do. They'll push over a big tree and you'll just hear it come crashing down when there's no wind at all.
It's been broke over. I mean, there's no cut. It's just
Was it broke over?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not too old either.
it's not been cut.
I don't know, it
Yeah.
may be down for a while. See the wasp nest up in there?
Yeah, it's been down too long. That's definitely been ripped off.
There was a strong storm that came through here not too long ago, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, there was some pretty good straight line winds come through.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying, was it straight line winds or was it Sasquatch? We don't know.
Yeah.
Some of you,
Because there was a strong storm,
Yeah.
but you also seen a Sasquatch in here. So it's hard to say.
And seeing the further we get back down here from up there, I don't have that eerie feeling like I had back up there. Why, I don't know. And I don't think it's related to this, but they did find, some hunters found a woman's body across 32 highway, just up a little ways from where Bob took you at, in the woods.
Yeah.
Whether
What
it
they
was-
say was the cause of that?
I don't remember. It's been a few years ago. If I told you, I'd be lying to you, and I'm not going to do that.
Right. Yeah. Makes you wonder.
But I've heard of reports of more bodies being found this year during turkey season than you have in the past.
Really? Okay.
A lot of them were mainly, up north.
Yeah. Man, I'm getting that feeling again.
I try not to think about that feeling, but it's impossible.
Yeah. Sure, anybody gets that feeling when they're out in the woods camping at night, though. Anywhere.
If it was night and I had that feeling, I could put it as, it's just I can't see very well. That's why I'm getting the feeling. But it's broad daylight. I can see a long ways through the trees. Position, it could be a start of, something making something. But I would think it's just deadfall, doing it.
I heard something down that way. You get cell phone signal out here?
Probably not. Actually, yeah, I got some.
Okay, that's good.
Not much.
I got one bar.
Enough to get help if something happened, huh?
If something happens, it should. I
Yeah.
may have to get to the
I
top of the
got a
hill.
hot spot on mine. So I can hit that hot spot and get hooked up to Wi-Fi through satellite.
Oh, okay. What it looked like whenever it walked? Can you kind of...
It just kind of, like it didn't see me at first, just kind of doing its thing, just kind of walked across, 2.5, 3 foot wide stride.
So pretty nonchalant?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it could have heard me, step on a leaf or something up there, and that's when it, made it self-noticeable,
Yeah.
done the growl or scream, it's something I've never heard before.
Yeah.
And it just, when it was quiet in here, just like it echoed for miles.
Yeah. For it to shake that tree, that's it warning you, for sure.
And they could have a shelter back in here, with what little bit of sign we're finding.
There's a guy named Kerry Arnold. He used to have a podcast on YouTube. He encountered one down in Mississippi, and he was turkey hunting, and it did the same thing. It shook this pine tree back and forth, pretty violent shake, and he said it followed him out of the woods. I've noticed that too. The cicadas aren't anywhere around this perimeter where we're at, but all around the area.
Makes you wonder.
Wonder if we did a tree knock if they'd respond, but they say that's bad to do.
I don't know. I have to take your word for it. I don't know nothing about it.
Okay. Yeah. I'm sure if we were in here quiet, maybe they'd do it, but I noticed that too. Here's like a leaning cedar over here. I don't know if that's off the road. Maybe the tractor pushed it over. But I noticed a lot of those whenever I had my encounters at my place. A lot of pushed over cedars. And they normally point towards the creek bottom.
And that's a bottom back down in there.
Maybe it grew that way, maybe not. But usually they're pretty solid. Like you can't really budge them, even when they're leaned over. And there's that break over there that Bob found earlier.
Just makes you wonder if one pushed that over and then broke that tree down there. Because my theory is, you know, a tree that's broke over right there, you know, it's not real big. If straight line winds come in, all these other big trees around, I wouldn't think, you know, it would snap that one over, not something else.
Yeah.
And the other big trees that got blew over look like they're going that way, and that was broke going that way.
Yeah.
And this one's going to lean just the opposite, across.
And there ain't no telling what's in that bottom if you get down off in that bottom.
Yeah. This woods just keeps going and going and going.
Yes.
Yeah, we ain't even started the surface.
No.
Man could spend the rest of his life just going back there.
I don't remember how many thousands of acres are out here.
Yeah.
They look like something might have bent this over and then laid a tree there like it was going to make a shelter or something.
Definitely bent over.
Until I talked to Bob, I would have never thought of anything like that. I thought, well, just Mother Nature, the wind blowing stuff around, you know.
It could be possible. As we pulled up into the parking lot, they did all their wood knocks, smashed a tree, and that's like warning each other to clear out. And then once we walk in, it's all dead quiet. We have no idea.
I think they're way farther than we are.
Yeah. Yeah, they have their own code, that's for sure. See, I'd get lost out here.
It's easy to do at nighttime.
Would not want to get lost at night out here. Oh, I bet. Even before the sun goes down, I'm sure it's dark in here before it gets dark out there.
That's what it is down there, that far, too.
Mm-hmm.
It's dark, it's dark on the road.
Yeah.
Probably 30, 40 minutes before it's dark on the
Over and just kind of shoved in the ground.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely.
Because I don't see any other tree big enough to bend that over like that and hold it down.
No. Let's see where. Oh, wow, that's locked in there. Try to give that a pull, somebody.
She's in there.
Yeah. That's pretty.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Pretty
believe a
arched,
fella
I
could
guess.
yank on it, you know, several times and to get it out there eventually. But
Did we walk past this?
No,
we cut in up
back
here.
Up there.
Okay.
And we come down this ridge over here behind you. That's it. That's in there.
Yeah.
That's been there for a minute.
Yeah.
It's lost.
Branches broke about
Mm-hmm.
8, 9 feet high.
You know, no hunter's going to reach up there and break that.
Looks twisted.
No.
It's twisted.
Mm-hmm.
No, this is a different smell.
You smell it?
Yeah, yeah.
Can't quite put a finger on what it smells like though.
Yeah, I just got a whiff of it now.
Any fur trapping, when you skin out a mink or something, you hit that scent gland back there, it's kind of that pungent musk smell.
Yeah. What it sound like a deer?
No, it just sounds like something walking.
I heard that down there. It sounded like something was walking around us.
I just wonder if whatever it is just like making circles around us, keeping an eye on us.
I think so. Like I hear something down that way. Oh, I smell that.
Smell it now?
Mm-hmm.
Me too.
Well, I'm gonna come right up here, then kind of cut in, go in a little ways, and then just slowly walk back.
Okay.
Look like a tree, decent sized tree there, kind of been over and laid in the ground.
Yeah.
The air is heavier. You got heavy feeling, you know.
And how many trails are there off this main road? Quite a few, huh?
Quite a few.
So,
More than you can count.
yeah.
On both sides of the road.
And all the way down the highway, there's Mark Twain.
That road goes all the way back up. Goes back out on 17, I think.
Yeah, and this woods goes all the way up to I-44.
Yeah, it's non-stop.
Yeah.
We'll ease in here and just kind of.
I'll follow Larry.
See, there's an old tree that's been snapped over. You know, it could have been a hunter.
Mm-hmm.
Just weird how that tree grew like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's just a lot of little snapped limbs everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
When you find fresh ones, though, when it's real green, you can tell they just did it, and they're twisted, they'll get their hair stuck in there. So you can find hairs, yeah.
I just wonder, like you were saying, if you found a fresh one like that and you can see the hair in there, if you could actually kind of smell it and kind of, get a whiff of what they smell like,
Yeah.
Who knows?
There's so much woods out here. It's incredible. You can see why they call it the Big Piney. A lot of pine trees. And there's a lot of big pine trees in this area. There's a lot of deer scattered.
Did you hear that thump too, Clifford?
You guys can see that.
Sound like a thump.
What
Yeah, that's what it sounded like up here.
was it? Like something jumped out of a tree, or
I would say something like
I heard
that.
something. I'm hearing something up here.
You know how a squirrel would sound if it jumped out of a tree and hit the ground? But it was a lot louder than that.
Okay. I just heard something similar too, up this way. Straight up ahead?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's where I heard it.
Yeah, it's kind of right through this direction.
Yeah, there seems to be a lot of those around here.
Is that what you've kind of figured out? Tie these, brakes to back, back to Bigfoot or something like that?
Yeah. Yeah, in the structure areas, I'd find a lot of breaks like that. It's my theory they don't leave a lot of structures in here because that's where they're living at.
Mm-hmm.
They leave a lot of structures where they come and go from, or if there's campsites, they'll leave them around the campsites, or public areas, or little funnels in between two sets of large woods.
Try to make other people think it was just, other campers or humans that, done it or something maybe.
It's kind of like deer when they leave, like when they rub a tree that may not be where they're living at, but they travel through there.
But they're close, yeah.
Yeah, they're close.
They'll come back to it.
Yeah. Which, like with the deer, you find a lot of rubs. It's probably where they're living at. But Sasquatch structures, you find a lot of them. They're nearby somewhere. That's not the exact spot where they're at. But I mean, that is their territory.
Yeah. Makes sense.
Yeah. But yeah, when you find a lot of rubs in just one spot, you can pretty much bet that a big buck's living around there somewhere. But with these guys, I mean, people say they got a 50-mile radius, 100-mile radius. I don't even think they really have to go that far.
They saying Bigfoot's got 50-mile radius?
But I mean, they could be
how
right
do they
around
know
us.
for sure,
Yeah. Well, I guess because people add up the reports and where they find all the structures, and it seems to be like in certain counties.
Okay.
It's not everywhere.
But it's probably it could be just another Bigfoot too.
I think there's multiple clans in a certain habitat zone.
Looks like it's been bent over and something broke the top.
You see that one back there? That little sapling kind of snapped.
Oh, yeah. I see what you're talking about now.
Yeah, nothing fell on top of it. And if you notice, all the breaks in this area seem to be the same age. Like none of them are just freshly green, you know. And there was recently a storm. So at some point, something was in here breaking things. Signs of a woodpecker. But that break, I don't know.
You know, why would somebody, especially a hunter, why would you break a tree that size?
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Yeah.
if anything, if you're going to mark an area, you know, it'd be, you know, something small like this that you can break, you know, fairly easy.
Yeah.
It's like, well, it makes sense.
Yeah. Well, you live around here, so now when you drive through these areas, I guarantee you one day you're going to look over and see a bunch of arches and X's off the side of like a gravel road.
Well, I know
Mark Twain.
coming in, I don't know if you saw it, it's back up the gravel road a ways. On that side of the road, there was, Bob noticed it when I first brought him out here, there was a bunch of arches
I noticed
fairly close to the road.
Was it off the right side?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I noticed that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just like a little patch of woods, not more than a half acre big, but it's just covered in little bitty arches.
Yeah. And whenever they log certain sections of the woods, that's when they'll become active.
Mm-hmm.
They'll mess with people at nighttime or on their properties. Like something disturbed them. It's kind of like disturbing like a hive.
Well, this where we're talking about is up here. Not this. It won't be the first power line we get to and get back, but you get back up there a ways, and there's a power line, you know, just right off on the side of the road.
Okay.
That's probably.
You talking about that night we was out hog hunting?
Mm-hmm.
Now that you mention it, that's pretty close.
Yeah.
That night we was hog hunting, we heard a noise like he just made, something that's really similar to it.
You guys see this arch over here? That's what that is, but I don't see that limb holding down this entire thing.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. It's kind of pointing that same direction, I think.
Mm-hmm. Kind of back off, more like back down in that bottom where we was headed.
Yeah. And is that the feeling? Do you have a feeling that they're probably down in that bottom?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think so too.
I had a very strong feeling we was going in the right area, and it just see how the trees arched over, and most of it's kind of pointing back in that direction, you know, about where we was at on the other side of the road.
Where did that tree come from? You know what I mean? That's a tree. Did it fall out of the pines?
There's no, because it's surrounded by pine trees.
Yeah,
That's
that's what I'm
That's
saying.
like an oak.
Yeah,
Where-
that's an
where'd it
oak,
come
but where's the bottom of it?
Yeah.
It's like he's
It still
Something-
broke off. It still got a little-
Something carried it in here?
Yeah.
building a nest there.
To see, it looks like it's tied in right here in this little limb with the limb off.
Yeah.
There's nothing but pines all around it.
Yeah.
There's no stump to the oak.
You don't see where it grew?
No.
Somewhere right there? Yeah, I don't see anything either. It's my theory that they'll bend down that sapling and with their other hand, you know, put a tree on top of it to hold it down. Or they'll stab the tips into the ground. But a lot of the stuff
I
they
don't see
do,
where this would have fell.
they just mimic nature basically. So what could be deadfall is kind of what they do.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, a lot of things that animals do, you know, bobcats scream, mountain lions scream, owls will screech or
They'll
scream.
mimic.
They'll mimic that kind of
Okay.
stuff. So they really blend into nature, and it's kind of hard to like tell the difference. But that sapling is in the fork of that.
Yeah. It's almost like it was placed there.
Yeah, I don't see where this came from. It's definitely not a branch like an oak branch. This
No.
is a small tree, probably 4 or 5 inches in diameter.
Around that area.
If that tree would have fell, it would have been right in here
Right in
somewhere.
there somewhere. There'll be a stump right in here.
Yeah.
There's not.
Okay. That seems fairly fresh. Well, again, it's the same age as all the other breaks.
Well,
And
it's-
yet if you pick it up, it's still got weight to it.
But Clifford reminded me, years ago we was out here hog hunting, and that noise that you made a little while ago, we heard something very similar to that at night several times.
Yeah.
You know, I just figured it was some type of bird, you know, owl, you know, making a call out.
Yeah. People say calling like that, you won't get any reaction, or it's kind of stupid to do, but it's worked for me on the Merrimack River
Has it?
several times. Doesn't work every time, but I mean, every now and then it will. Kind of like grunting in a buck or calling in a turkey.
Gotcha.
You'll go and do it over and over and over, and nothing, and one day, boom. I think the Squatch use the same trails as the wildlife. If you notice, like, you find a defined deer trail, the turkey will travel down that same trail too. Turtles, snakes, everything. It's almost like there's an invisible highway in the woods and the animals know it. I mean, again, it's just like mountain lions. You know they're living out here, but you're not going to see them every time. You might never see one, but you know they're out here. Yeah, I noticed that too. The cicadas are dying down.
And this is about the area where, you know, where I said it heard like something jumped out of a tree.
Oh yeah, that's true. I heard something up here. I heard it earlier. You heard it when you pointed it out. I heard it right after you said something too.
Seeing about a path about this wide is where me and Bob was normally finding all the signs that, you know, he was talking about.
Yeah, doubt they'll respond.
Something knows we're here.
Yeah.
I think it's probably Sasquatch because that's what I saw out here. But it's hard to say. It could be other things.
Yeah.
Almost looks like something just wrapped it around that tree and made, you know, made that grow like that.
Yeah. If anything, I could see them climbing up those trees and looking out.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Maybe kind of walking up the tree and using that one to kind of hold on to, you know, kind of getting a better view.
Yeah, that's true. We're in this area right now and the cicadas are going off, but back there, they all kind of got real quiet.
Yeah.
Could just be the deadfall. Yeah, the only thing I could think of is that limb, but
And that's possible, this one right here, because it's going right underneath it. But
and as soon as we leave, those bugs get louder and louder.
it's like the further we got in there, the quieter they were getting right there where we was at.
Yeah.
I mean, you could still hear them, but it sounded like they was off in a distance.
Those bugs got loud.
Yeah.
That's strange. Because when we were in there, they got real quiet. Yeah, there's quite a few of them.
Meat on a carcass or something like that?
Well, that's what I'm thinking is possibly.
Are they meat eaters? Are they, you know, vegetarians, you know, eat leaves and, you know, plants and stuff?
I think the turkey hunters are dumping the remains out here, and they're eating the rest of it.
You know, and it could be they're following, you know, the hog population, because there's a lot of them in this area.
Yeah.
You know, you talk to a lot of people and tell you, no, there ain't no hogs in here. Yes, there is.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. I think that's why they don't want people to shoot the hogs. That way Bigfoot has something to eat other than people.
Very well possible.
There was like this triangle up here. I mean, it's deadfall, but it could be something. From a distance, it looks like something, but yeah, it's a dead tree.
I've done that, you know, broke it off like that to do that.
But you see what I mean? Like right over here, there's all these turkey carcasses. And that's a deer skull in there. No, that's a breast. Yeah.
And there's one back behind you.
Yeah.
There were several more trees in there back behind.
Just straight down that way. I don't know what it was. Cool thing about this thermal device is it works during the day too. Yeah, and I mean, I bet this place comes alive at nighttime, like all the wildlife. Like you can come out here during the day, maybe not see any animals, and once that sun goes down, you just start hearing all kinds of stuff. It's like, where did they come from? Yeah, the bigger Sasquatch that I seen out at my place, I saw him on a day just like this. I think it was probably like June, and it was around 11 a.m. right before noon.
Cut right through here, and just unless you want to stay on the path, that's where we'll cut right through here and just walk right kind of straight back to where we was at.
Yeah, that's fine. But I seen him at 11 a.m. day like this, and the juvenile at like 2 or 3 in the day.
Yeah.
So middle of the day.
It's crazy.
Close to houses and stuff.
Well, I would have thought they'd come out more at night, you know.
There.
During the day, you know.
That's what everybody thinks is nighttime, but there's turkey. Turkey feathers, that's kind of bent.
They don't look too old, but
No, I don't.
They're building for sure.
see this little berm right here? We'll get just to the left side of that berm right here in front of us.
Okay. Man, I think that's what they're doing. I think he was munching on scraps.
No, holy cow, there's more here. We didn't see these when we come out, Bob.
Yeah, all around. Look at all those trees that are knocked over too.
They're all pointing back to that.
Yep.
They're all pointing that same way,
Yeah.
huh?
I was thinking maybe a little deer at first. But
That was what I thought at first, but
Maybe a
it's
big
not
old
shaped
possum
right.
or something. That's a big possum.
Yeah, that had to be a real big one.
Yeah.
I know with all the ones we saw there, the hunters that was here just didn't kill that many.
Yeah, I know. Dang, that's a big mound.
It's still a little ways from the trail.
Yeah, it is. Look at that. It's kind of like a snake mound. Kind of snakes its way through there. It like winds down
Yeah.
that way.
Kind of does like that one out there at the house does.
Yeah,
It's
I
made out
like
of
the
rock.
one out at your place.
You see, if you notice, the further you get this way, the numbers drop down. When you head over there, it's hot.
It's that little eye, I don't know.
And the way the sinus cavity goes all the way through, it's like it can also breathe from back here.
Notice there's less bugs in this area. You notice they're really dying down. Somebody else is definitely going to have another encounter around here. It may not be down this same exact trail, but somewhere around here. So, did it growl before it shook the tree though, or after? Like when it was doing it?
As soon as it started growling, that's when the tree started shaking.
Okay. And just a real deep guttural sound. Okay. Well, it was aggravated. That's what it sounds like. Man, I keep hearing that sound like.
I've been hearing that ever since we come back to the truck. It's like it was just going all around us, you know.
You know, and it could be when I saw it, I just startled. It was, you know, out hunting for food maybe.
I think that's most likely the case. You startled it.
And I think it was just more curious of what I was, and the reason why it followed me.
It heard you call, and then it thought, boy, there's breakfast. You know, started easing around and getting in front of you.
Or he thought he was keeping that distance from you, and you snuck up in on him.
Mm-hmm.
I imagine you were walking like real slow.
Oh yeah, I was walking slow and
Yeah.
quiet and just kind of listening, you know.
Yeah.
Take like 3 or 4 steps and just stop and listen. You know, and about every 30 yards or so, 40, you know, I'd call after I listened for a little bit. 10 times better than I was.
Yeah, and I got the 9 on me too. This is the
Yeah,
trail?
that kind of looks like it'd been chopped down.
Yeah, a little bit twisted.
But then it all.
Tore it to pieces.
I ain't never seen one in a shred like that.
No.
Just by old age and falling.
Yeah. It's kind of weird. Maybe they're like looking for bugs.
That's what I was supposed to say. Might have been looking for grubs in it. Protein.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Like, where's that at? Where's the top of this?
Yeah.
If you look around here.
I don't see it. It looks like old hog rooting right here, some hog rooting right here. That's just weird where that top went to.
It's like they just carried it off somewhere.
Like right here on this tree.
This one's pushed over.
Yeah.
See this one?
Top gone off
Oh,
there
yeah.
too.
Don't look like somebody cut it with a saw or anything.
Not a saw, maybe a hatchet if anything.
You see any cut marks on it? That thing's still pretty solid too.
Yeah. No, there's no cut marks on it.
No,
Where's the top of that at?
I know.
Is that this one here?
No, that one's de-rooted.
How did we not see that coming in or out last time?
I don't know. I was wondering the same thing. See how the roots pushed up?
That's pointing in that direction.
I can try to. I don't know.
It's gonna take several men to move that.
I don't know. This probably just fell together.
Who knows?
Yeah.
Larry, thank you so much for inviting me to the area that you had your encounter in, and I believe you 110%. I believe the Sasquatch live year-round off of the Big Piney River in the Mark Twain National Forest, and I know there's a lot of locals that have had experiences and encounters, and I hope you guys speak up one day. When we investigated the area, several things really stood out to me. The feeling I got in there was a dark feeling, as if something was consistently watching me. I could hear things moving around us in the distance, just far enough to where we could not see what it was. The tree breaks were a little odd, and the trees that were across the trail, the arches were a little questionable as well. The amount of turkey carcasses made me feel like they were eating on the leftovers. We also noticed when we were far back in the woods, the cicada bugs would get really quiet. I hope I can investigate this area in the future, and it would be really cool to get a team of researchers together to join me. If you enjoyed this interview, please give the video a thumbs up and be sure to subscribe to the channel. I really appreciate all the channel members who support the channel, and if you want to become a member today to gain special access to Sasquatch Theory, you can join right now. I would like to interview more people from this region of Missouri, so if you have had an eye sighting encounter or know where these creatures are, please contact me by email. Thank you everyone for watching and supporting the channel. Be safe out there, and God bless, my friends.